That's Grant-Lee Phillips and the opening track from his new album, In the Hour of Dust. We found Grant in his adopted home of Nashville, Tennessee, where he was preparing to celebrate the release of his latest album. We begin by informing Grant of a Kiwi singer who's just now moving to Nashville, Georgia Lines.
Nothing lesser than emancipation. Baby, there's no sweeter song.
Georgia's moving to Tennessee.
Yeah, that's right.
There's a song right there.
There you go. It writes itself. Very good. Yeah. And well, it's Friday here, so your album is already released.
Oh, fantastic.
So congratulations.
Thank you.
What do you got planned for tomorrow in Nashville?
I think a cake is in order.
Well, a cake's always in order in my life.
That's true. That's a good point. I am going to celebrate by playing. I have a live performance. What would be 9 p.m. Eastern time on Bandcamp.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to play some songs off the new record.
Cool.
Yeah, ring in the new year album wise.
Right.
Yeah.
And then you're going on a little tour after that. Is that right?
Yes, that's correct. Yeah, going back east.
Is that a solo, or you got a band playing, or what's happening there?
I'm playing solo acoustic. An artist named Chris Delmhorst from Massachusetts is also opening a number of those shows. And then back to Nashville for Americana Fest in September. And then overseas quite soon, over to the UK. Yeah.
I know you've been to New Zealand a couple times, once Grant-Lee Buffalo, and then once on your own in a little place, but years ago, right?
It's been years, and I'm ashamed to say, and it's such a beautiful place. I'd love to get back there.
All right, well, we'll see what we can do. All right, so the album is In the Hour of Dust. Let's start with the title, which is generated from an Indian saying. Is that right? From India?
Well, yeah, that's it. I've always got about 15 different places that I'm pulling from, but there was a painting that I saw years ago in an art museum called The Hour of Cow Dust. And I love that. The ring of it and the idea of kicking up the dust precisely at that hour of twilight when the lanterns are lit. We prepare ourselves for this transitional period. And I feel like, metaphorically speaking, we're undergoing some kind of transition here.
Right.
Yeah,
it feels like it.
The songs themselves are preoccupied with that transition and with the notion of kind of making your way through the blinding dust, trying to hang on to yourself and keep your bearings.
It's interesting how animals do react to the twilight. I used to have some chickens in my backyard, 4 of them.
Oh, yeah?
And normally they're very skittish and they're running around and you have to chase them around and they didn't want to interact. But then suddenly as twilight come, they got very docile and you could just walk up to them, pick them up. You could pet them and they didn't move. And it was very strange. It happened every day. So I don't know what's going on there, but I think
chicken, more reliable than your Apple Watch, probably a good chicken, but harder to keep on your wrist.
But tastier.
There you go.
All right. And I see you just released a single or a song. Did you make it through the night okay?
Yes.
So
that's right.
What brought that on?
Strange days to become. I wouldn't be stunned if the moon leapt out of the heavens or the sea swallowed the sun. The strangest of days. Did you make it through the night okay?
Back during the pandemic, I took a course online. I am Muskogee Creek. That is the indigenous tribe that I am a citizen of here. And so I thought, wow, this is an opportunity to learn the language here. And it's a pretty deep subject, so I only got so far, but I did encounter this phrase, "Stunken jug hayadiga," which means, did you make it through the night okay? And that's because there is no word like good morning, but I feel like, well, that phrase says a whole lot more. And I loved it, and I instantly kind of heard a melody, and I thought, there's a song here, and I kind of chased it down like I do sometimes.
Yeah. And as we get older, it takes on more meaning. Did you make it through the night okay?
Yes. Well, that's true, too. Yeah, any number of ways. Yeah, right. Yeah. Lots of applications.
All right. So these 11 songs that you've put together, did you kind of write them all in mind of this being a thing together, or were they stuff that you had hanging around, or how did they come
Well,
together to be a piece?
gosh, I mean, I'm always sort of conscious
Yep, that's the one.
of that I'm working towards a record, but I try not to let myself get painted into a corner. I usually write a few more songs than I could ever record or fit on a record, and that's kind of how I go about it. I certainly I wind up having about a half a dozen before I step back and I ask myself, what direction do I want to take this? And quite often certain songs will stand out and I go, that I like that. I'm going to follow that. That
Yep.
one, maybe that's something else,
Right. Yep.
So I try to become aware of my own tangents and step outside of myself. It's not always easy. And sometimes I wind up recording more songs than I can fit on a record. Vinyl is somewhat limited in terms of time, you
Yep.
know.
Yeah. No one told Bob Dylan, Blood on the Tracks is squeezed. He went
Well,
way over the limit.
yeah, I guess I never realized because some of these classic records, I first heard them, as CDs, and it wasn't a big deal. But yeah, a lot of these classic records were double albums, or All
Sure.
Things Must Pass, or
Yep.
some
Yep.
of the great ones.
Yep, 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 yep. All right. And you recorded this. Well, I noticed you got Jay Bellerose on it, and you worked with him
Oh,
before. But he's one of those guys. There's a list of people that you see their name in the credits, and you just go, oh, well, I got to check this out. So
yeah, yeah. Jay is an old friend. He and his wife Jennifer Condos. We've made a number of records together now. We go back to Los Angeles, is where I know them from. And yeah, this is, I don't know, third or fourth record we've made together, and we've toured some together. Patrick Warren is another
right,
Los Angeles veteran who plays on the album, plays keyboards on
right.
it. Yeah, I'm very blessed to call these folks friends, and they're so talented.
Now, speaking of keyboards, you did a co-write on this record with another keyboard player,
Yeah.
Jamie Edwards, for Bullies. How'd that come about?
Love to make a fool of us on the schoolyard again. Oh, the world is full of bullies, just can't give in to them.
Well, Jamie's someone I got to know kind of through the same circle. Jamie is a regular musician who plays with Amy Mann and her
Yeah.
touring and recording group. And I've been out on the road with Amy, who's also another good friend. And just, every now and then I get the opportunity to pull him in on a recording. And I had this song, Bullies, that musically speaking, I'd kind of got myself out on a ledge. I, worked my way up into this beautiful place, and I was like, how do I get back to where I started from? I'm going to call Jamie and see if he wants to kind of,
Right.
come be a part of this. And it was great. We worked kind of as we're doing now, believe it or not, writing via Zoom. And I did my thing. I wrote the lyrics, and I had a pretty good sketch of it, musically speaking. But he came in and says, "Well, what about this for the bridge?" And I was like, "That's amazing!" And so, we were off and running.
So
Yeah.
over the years, has your writing process evolved, changed? Is it pretty much stayed the same? How do you look at it?
That's a good question. I think it probably is always going to be evolving. Um, what I've gotten accustomed to as home recording has become, much more accessible, that the line between writing and recording becomes a little more gray, I guess. I can go into put some ideas down, and I may in fact be building the foundation of what will become a full-fledged recording. If
Yep.
it turns out, then we can add drums, bass to it, what have you. Or it might just be the seed of a song that I can then share with the band, and then we'll record it live from the ground up. There's a little bit of both on this album.
Right. I was thinking that there's some where it started out like home recording and then you build
Yeah.
it, and the other way as well, right?
Yeah, exactly. Because sometimes what you find when you've got this song and it's intimate and it feels like it's just an idea that's being shared from me to you. It's and you go in with the band and you go, okay, let's go for it. We're rolling, and now it takes on a sense of performance, and that's not always the best thing when you want something that's kind of confessional and intimate. You
Right.
don't want a sense of performance. You want a sense of intimacy, I guess.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
was
So I
that
try to build on that.
one of those that you did with Brendan Benson?
Well, yeah. You're talking about a song called "No Mistaking," and it
Right.
began like a lot of my songs, me on the edge of the couch playing the guitar, singing. I tracked that. I felt like this feels good. This is really like this is very real, and you know, I'm not trying too hard. I'm just singing it just enough to get the words out, and let the melody and the words do the work. And
Right.
then I took it out to L.A. We added bass and drums, and I kind of stood back and went, you know what? I think I could get a better guitar sound. I think maybe I feel like I performed the song a few times now. I'd like to re-sing it. So I went over to Brendan Benson's home studio in Nashville, and there's a lot of those places. But
Yep.
I mean, he's just an incredible musician himself, and engineer, producer. So, and a friend who I've got to know here, and he said, "Yeah, come on over." And in about a couple hours time, we just like knocked out some nice guitars, re-sang it, and you would never, know otherwise. It all was done in that fashion.
No mistaking this is love. No mistaking this is love. What everyone is dreaming of. This is love.
But yeah, I mean, really, with recording this, get it done however you can get it done.
Yep. 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 And do you think that's a good thing? Technology has it improved your ability to express yourself better or just
Well, I
differently?
tell you, what I appreciate about the current stage of technology is that if you use it, if you use it carefully, you can
Well,
preserve, and not for evil. You can use it to preserve the spontaneity. You can use it to preserve the intimacy and all the natural stuff that comes along with playing a song. It sounds pretty darn good when you just sit in front of your iPhone and play it.
Yep.
You don't have to have the big room, and you can do that now. And then when you need a little more enhancement, that being overdubs, you can do it. But at every stage of the game, you have an opportunity to approach it with a sense of spontaneity and discovery. Yeah, that's a very different mindset than just sort of chipping away at some ideal of perfection.
Right. And have you
Yeah.
been following the AI discussions? There's a guy here in Auckland that I met that creates songs. He's basically a lyricist, and then he just plugs the lyrics and his ideas into his computer, and
Mm,
the song and the whole demo is made for him in minutes.
right.
And it's fairly impressive. It's kind
Well,
of scary.
I've heard some of these some of this stuff. I don't know how to feel about it. I don't know if there was a blind test, if I would respond differently. It,
Yeah.
it it runs contradictory to what I
Yes.
love about music.
Yep.
I'd rather hear something that was sort of flawed and imperfect, but human, um, myself. But at the same time, I guess it's empowering someone who might not otherwise have a way. I would rather see such a person, like you mentioned, get together with someone else who is a great musician
Right.
and make something human. Um, I don't know. I saw Terminator recently, and it really spooked me. So
Okay.
I'm probably the wrong guy to ask.
Now I see. When I was growing up, I always wanted to be an archaeologist, and I see you wrote one song, "American Lions," is kind of inspired by
Oh,
La Brea tar pits. So tell
oh
me about
yeah,
that. That's a long way from Nashville.
yeah, it is. It's a long way from Nashville to the La Brea Tar Pits. I think that goes with that song about Georgia, doesn't it?
Yes.
There was a time lions would roam the Miracle Mile before the high rises went up the Rome wild. Nothing remains, bones in the ground, swallowed and tore. American lions walking the earth where offices are.
I love that place. When I moved to Los Angeles in '83 from Northern California, I made a beeline to the La Brea Tar Pits. It's this gurgling black pool, and there's also a museum there full of all kinds of dinosaur bones. I went back there when our daughter was still a little kid, and spent the afternoon, and I saw this exhibit, American Lion, and it looked like, the MGM Lion sort of. And I don't know. I wrote that title down about 15 years ago, I guess, and somehow it just resurfaced, in a notebook, and it got me thinking about the passage of time, and almost in the blink of an eye, we've got lions roaming the Miracle Mile in Los Angeles, and
Nice.
Here we are.
Here we are. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's interesting. We have gurgling bits in New Zealand, lava coming up. Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow.
It's similar to that. But the thing is, there's never been any mammals here, so we don't have anything to discover.
Wow. Interesting.
No, all we got is birds.
That's incredible. Wow. That makes sense, though, I guess.
Yeah, so isolated that nothing can swim over here. And
Right.
they're very, very strict about when you fly or,
That's
everything.
true.
The headlines in New Zealand is when there's a spider discovered.
Many years ago, I was on tour when my tour manager had a taxidermied bat that he
Right.
was trying to take back to his home in England, and he was stopped at customs for a while. Had to answer for himself.
Yep. You wouldn't get that through here. You can't even get an apple in.
No, yeah, bat smuggling. Don't try it.
Did it have Ozzy's teeth marks in it?
Yeah. In fact, he'd named the bat Ozzy. Come to think of it, yeah.
All right, very good. All right. Well, I have a feeling your battery may be running down on your phone here, so I don't want to lose you here. But
Okay.
thanks for spending time talking to me. Hopefully, you'll get down here again sometime. It's been a
Yeah,
long
I'd love
time.
to.
It'd be great.
I'd love
And good luck. Have fun tomorrow on release day. And
Thank you, Marty.
And say hi to Georgia if you run into her.
I'll do so.
If you enjoyed this episode of the 13th Floor's Music Talk series, please be sure to subscribe to the website or to the YouTube channel. Follow us on Facebook or Instagram and wherever you find your podcasts. There's a whole lot more to discover.